The question becomes, I think, what would I make you do as being your leader? And I think that'd be up to you to tell me what you thought was right in circumstances. And basically be going, to somehow say you are better because you do evil things to each other, and to other people, and to yourself, and you truly do not love anybody, nor do you love God, or nor do you worship God, nor do you really even care about people's rights. I mean, it ain't just about saying I believe in Jesus. It's about saying you believe in Jesus and then saying this is what he would do. And then knowing that that's the case, and I don't really know how to do that for you, here's what I would do. I'd tell you that it's going to become a very bad place. And you're going to have to somehow have the will to survive, and in times you won't say much to people that don't believe you. You'll feel better around those that agree with your choices and faith. And some people will find those that don't, and some people will find those that do. The faith you have will determine what choices you will then be allowed to make. I mean, you have to understand, by nature, man is something that can kill. That's another point we don't really talk about very often that we need to make, is that a man has the power to kill another man. I don't know what you'd be saying to me, right, if you certainly wanted to watch this and say, yeah, you're the person I want to kill. Because what would I do? I would make this video and say, I figured you'd say that. But if you didn't, I mean, what would you say? That this is a man? Well, there's discussion as to what I am as being a man. What you need to know is this is a delusion. I mean, I'm not being delusional and telling you that you want to watch this. If you do, for other reasons, you want to know what I have to say. But really, you should understand. If you want to know what I have to say, then you would have to say it. You would have a choice as to what you want to say. You can say anything. Say that you don't like being with Buddha, or you don't like being around the evil people, or you don't like to somehow find out that you are evil, and you don't like to really know anything about it. That's the problem, isn't it? Here's the problem. If you don't want to know about what it is, well, beyond that, you don't want to talk. If you're going to watch this, and you don't want to talk, it seems like we're really telling each other anything. It seems really the message, or the reader, or the Buddha. Like it was it. What was the end of it? All the end of it is that, I don't know what you would do then. Once you decided you no longer wanted to stay in one place ever again, or never wanted to know anymore, then that's not right. Everybody's basically still living in sin. Nothing has changed. Why? Because no one will allow it. And he says, well, I'll do something. It'll help out people, but no, it's not helping him out. Helping him out is a little different. I mean, it depends on which way you want to go. Depends on what you believe. This is delusional. say many delusional things can do things. But this was just some sort of imaginary world I lived in. And people would end up dead for real. And I'd just be killing off my imaginary friends. And I don't know who it was going to end up being today. But I know what the problem is now. Nobody likes it. Imaginary friends. That's very curious indeed. Because I have certain rights. And I don't know what to tell you. I gotta do these things. I have to, or I'll be made to. I choose to do many of them because he advises me that it is correct. I see it is. I'm afraid I don't sound like I'm much of a nice guy. Well, I accuse you of sinning. Saying that would be what you must somehow remember. You can remember many things, but that was the big one. I'm not saying you're the bad guy. I'm just saying, well, what do you think is going to happen when you find out that your life's over? Or that you don't have to do what you say, but somebody else thinks. I already told you what to do. Would you do it? Or would you say, what was it? You do what they do. Those guys are out on the street. Those guys are inside your house. Those guys are down there in a bunker, waiting for nuclear war. And that's what they were prepared for. But as you'll see, they didn't prepare anybody else. I mean, I prepared myself for what I call survival situations and began understanding that that's what this would be. I found a video about what atomic bombs do and watched it and saw that many bad things would happen if somebody went to detonate one of those, along with nuclear weapons. I mean, destroy places that were not meant to be built, or destroy the indestructible. I mean, yeah, it's not really indestructible. The fact of the matter is they gave a bunker buster to Israel that they specifically designed to blow up a building, and Israel put a freaking thermonuclear warhead on it. It says they're going to annihilate the entire area there like it was nothing. Like it was like, God, do whatever you're doing there. And you should now know what they're doing there. Just watching this. What you're doing there is not legal. It's not something Israel is going to let you do. Because what are you trying to tell our Father about you? Or about anything? Or whoever? What do you tell him this Josh fellow about this stuff? You don't tell him nothing. You used to. Kinda. In a way, I don't know what it would mean then. What it means now is, you're preparing for war, and you think good, and that's what you need to do. And I have given you time to somehow think it over. But in many ways, I'm spoiling, and they're spoiling it for them and saying, it won't be much of anything if you think about it. And it's not life. I have to live. But dude, you look at me, I'm not world famous. I'm small time, and like the lone gunman. Like basically, I've unearthed this case. This goes back years as to whether or not there would be that as a man doing something on Earth, and do we even know now what that is? I see that there is a way I can communicate with people. And usually I don't know. But I could walk around my town here and talk to people that I don't know and say, you see, the world's really not as bad as you think it is. Well, when the weather starts changing, people wonder what's going to happen next. And when the weather gets bad, sometimes they don't like it. I want to talk. I want to go outside. They ain't going to do anything. I mean, no, they're not going to begin the process of understanding that life is not easy to live. And they said they understood that already, many times over. And money is not easy to get. You understand that. I mean, I do. Maybe for some money is no object. They just have it. But then what do they do with it at night? What they want. And so what? I don't need money for this to work. I do something that people don't really know how to do. And I'll tell you one thing, it's as easy as pushing a button. But it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to do once you decide to become somebody else's property and be brainwashed. And that's the gist of it. I mean, the chip does very little. It doesn't give you superpowers. I mean, I do something without a chip, which would give me superpowers. The chip will give you an illusion or a delusional world like this. And it's difficult to peel away the pieces and say, what are you trying to say? That you're who? I say, I don't know. I have many names, but I know my own name to be something that I'm proud of. That's quite an achievement. I've done it. I've begun again. What the whole entire reality is about. Or about who this is truly about as like a story. It's like he began explaining to them that the nature of the case stated, if you want to do this, do what you want. You think that that's what you would then be able to do. And do something like you want it. What's it going to be? I mean, I'm not telling you to do good things. I'm not telling you to do bad things. I'm saying do what you want. Make it known that you don't want to do these things. Or you just want to do a bunch of this stuff that doesn't matter. That's all I think I did. A bunch of dumb things I shouldn't have done. And ended up telling you that, Josh, as I see you sitting there, I'm talking to you, and the other guys are not listening. The other guys have gone in the other room and go, what are you trying to say that we're not sitting there? And I say, yeah, I know they're not really here. They're someplace else. Strangely enough, why do I need them? I mean, my job was to do nothing. And I got paid for it. I never really had a real job where you did nothing and you got paid. You go before the doctor and she says, oh, you're still crazy. I go before the doctor and she said, I can't let the feds do this to you. I said, good. I wouldn't want nobody doing that to you anyways. It's kind of funny, I think about it. I think about, yeah, I wouldn't want the feds to do that to me. But I know I wouldn't want them to do it to you either. You can watch all my videos. I hope I don't make you understand that I'm personally going to do that to you. But yeah, I'm the guy that did all this. The guy that did what you did and then said you didn't do it. I'll save you from yourself by saying, well, I'll be you and help you understand. I mean, I'm not going to really be you in the sense I'll just like, I'll take over. I'll just tell you that you can go and tell people that there's a lot of things you need to understand. Many of them are, but you don't know. really means a lot, and what you do really don't matter. And I'm not going viral right here and say, oh, it's the latest trend. I'm just saying, man, look at what you do. And remember, you gotta remember. You can go on like this for quite some time, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, these guys are not nice. And neither am I. I treat them badly. I don't mean to be very nice to them at all. But they could shoot me in the head. And that would end that. Well, I don't know. Because there'd be somebody else again. And he'd be very angry. Again, you don't have to do anything at all now. You'll see that over time, this is about what they were angry about. As far as just the mothers and fathers that told them about God. And they see him face to face and say, how would you ever end up being him? I mean, you are nobody. And I say, yes, that's what they call me. So I never really had a real name. They always are giving me fake ones. I mean, they never give me a real name. The name they give me is arbitrary. I mean, it's like talking about Taoism. Saying what I call it is this. And later on I'd call it something else. So he said, what are you saying? And you just call it whatever you like? I don't really know. But we call it something. We call it that. That damn old day was still there. No one knows why. And I go, yeah, I don't need even a day. I just pretend I do. I go, toss me a piece of cake. And I say, now, what should I do? Should I make you do it? I mean, you gotta understand, it's about terrorism. Terrorism is about doing a lot of different things. Things that people don't normally do when they're not terrorists. So that's what's about. So what we be asking ourselves is, are they doing those things? And then you should watch this. Watch all of it. Are you doing those things? And that add up to me being convicted of a crime? I say because I might be. If somebody wanted to press charges, yeah, I might have to go before a judge. And I'd say, this is my testimony. I'd say, yeah, I committed a crime. I mean, the crime I committed was espionage. And the crime was against my own country. And my country was saying, I don't think this is espionage. And this is what you would be doing. I said, listen, I can help you. And I'm not going to do much to not really be of service. But as far as what I'm going to let people do to me, I want to make sure they understand that when they do something that people are going to watch. And people that don't want to get to do it ain't going to watch you do it. They're going to get involved in something. And maybe they'll stop you from doing some things. But when you're going to just do them to yourselves, and we see that they're only giving us all sorts of tactical advantages over there, and losing in ways we wouldn't lose. I mean, we say our military was capable of fighting a war, even though we took it apart and scaled back, and we did that knowingly, like, yeah, so we don't want to fight wars anymore. We're not leaving our men in Afghanistan to fight a war. We're saying they're going to leave mysteriously, very mysteriously. If they stay, there'll be a very few numbers of them that stay to do a mysterious host of things that you don't know. I mean, they're not going there to kill. They're going there to somehow observe the enemy and say he's making some sort of plan with somebody else in that country to do, well, something, and he would maybe have a really good idea to know what he would do. It's not that he would just terrorize people. It's that he would find ways of doing what he wants, to establish once again that he was in control. And now we're really not talking about just one man. I mean, if we are, you're talking about somebody that has total control. That's just it. Total control isn't something you could just get. I mean, if you're a man, you can have total control over an army. If you were saying the right things, and you actually knew a man. If a general came to my house today and said, yeah, we're going to need all these men, I wouldn't argue with him very much, other than to say, what do you want my men to do? And he'd go, I want them to follow the leader. And I'd say, well, that's me. So what are you doing here? You're following the leader? I knew it. I know what I do. And if the CIA is going to somehow say I'm an assassin, I would say, yeah, I've read about ninjutsu and know how to kill people. I know about poison. I know about how to play rock and roll music and talk about how this music here is about what it would be like if you suddenly died and you had to fight against evil forces. And it makes me think, I still have the power, or whatever I may well want to think. And you could say that's delusional. And it is. But delusional is something I will say I am not. Because as being the leader of the free world, I do have a lot of power. You'll see that I don't exercise it like today. I'm not going to make you do anything now. I will certainly be able to allow you to do it later. You'll make your own decision. Your own government that you're working with at times. It'll be you collecting as people to say, we call this civil law or civil order, or we call this civilization. And these are the people we know about. And we know there are others. And we want to get a hold of somebody that can tell us, well, what do we need to do? Or find somebody that'll be a leader. And it ain't easy. I mean, I wish there was a way to do it, but I can't tell you how. You're going to need to stock up on a lot of things. You're going to have to be a doomsday prepper. I mean, you're going to watch all of this and say, no, you're lying. I mean, no, I'm not lying. I'm preparing you for a very long, cold winter. It may get warm sometimes where you're like, oh man, this is bearable. I don't know what it's really going to do. Nobody does. Because you see, we were once dealing with global warming. Hence that be changed into global climate change, and now it's changing again. But the topic becomes like, we don't really know. I mean, what should we say? We're not liable for that. I don't hold anybody accountable except those that truly know who's accountable. I say, if you know what you did is right, then you should say something to your father, and he would say, you've done a good job. But if you know what you did is wrong, I mean, you shouldn't go running to your mother so she can somehow maybe be like protect you from yourself, or if she needs to protect you from herself, that's great. Protect you from the law. Like be your alibi because you were doing all of this. Like you were planning to commit a crime. I don't know. But you have come from a family of people that have been known to just commit crimes. And that's you. Now I'm not really going to say anything to you or anybody about how to maintain law and order. I mean, that doesn't make sense. And I don't know how to do it when I know there's so much more involved in this. It's basically about crime. I mean, does it ever end? Or do you just always think crime is not something that we'll really obey? I don't know. Or why just make it too difficult might seem easy then. You don't think much about it now. You think, well, if he's not going to obey, he's going to have to do something like he said. See, what I'm talking about is a lot of things. Ultimately, what I'm saying is this is the way I'm going to end his life. I mean, do you want to charge me with that? That I shot him in the head? It was at point blank range, but I was halfway around the world. I mean, he was in a completely different building, and all I did was talk to him and make YouTube videos saying, what would happen if I shot somebody in the head? I mean, and I would have murdered somebody, then the cops would find out. Eventually, I mean, it depends if I was good. I mean, if I was really good. And it doesn't even matter, guy, because if in the first 72 hours you can't find somebody, chances are if you find somebody, you're slim. So I don't think I made it away from that. Actually, I made it, well, somehow got away with the crime. Like I said, I know what I did. I was always a nice guy or nice about it. I was always a nice guy going, I'm just going to treat you like a very special person. Because I didn't think you were a special person. It was treating me personally very special. I thought like that was not very nice. That you want somebody to think you personally are controlling them or being them, or what do you think? Controlling your mind. And I said to him, I know you do that. And I know that's what you think. You can do it, but it's not being done. You may think I personally control your mind. Like you're like me all the time. You're going, I see how you're like that. I see that you see me. But I mean, there are others that see me also, and they look through to this image from a different vantage point. And you can imagine. But I want to know. What would you want them to do? Would you want them to say, hey, you right there is guy. Wherever you point at yourself, picture, like right there. Hey, buddy, what are you gonna do? I say, nothing, except for the idea that no one's sitting there. I mean, what are you gonna do? What are they gonna do about this? I say, and at this point, they sit there to say, no, you can't just do this to him at all. Can't stop you from doing it. Really. For today, no. It doesn't matter. Anybody eventually will. And what matters? I mean, it's the things you say. Like, I agree. You should do this. I mean, it's not like Big Brother's telling me, no, you don't need to. I just going, not today. We're not going to go do that today. We're going to go do that some other time. And I'm saying, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, let's just do it. Just go bang and have nothing to say. Don't tell him why. I mean, why not? Would it matter? I mean, you got figured out about what you did. I don't have it figured out about why anybody else would want to be involved in that. Like as a third party. I mean, that's what we're really talking about here. We're discussing God. I mean, there's all of you, right? And whoever you may well be. But then there's that ancient third party named God is watching it do it. Saying a whole bunch of things. Different religions have preached it differently. But they all ultimately have an all-seeing person that can know what everybody's doing. At all times. We just call that God for some reason. I don't think the reasoning to call it God is really there. I think it's for something that doesn't truly have a name that we see and experience every day without even knowing it is controlling or not controlling us. And you wouldn't know what it was. I mean, you know what this is? I mean, I'm telling you this is me making a video on YouTube, but maybe there's more to it than that. And maybe I'm going to have to tell you that it's pretty freaking complicated to do this. I mean, I've been doing this for 31 minutes now, and I ain't stopped. I can tell you that people are watching this. And you see that they're watching something. So do I don't know what. I mean, I say I am a radical, or I am a fanatic, or I'm an extremist. But in reality, I'm just one man who would like to know why they would say that that's what they need. Somebody that really believes that they need to do this. And I say, yeah, I believe I need to do this, but not to do what many people would say is something good. If it's not good, it just ends up with us dead. I mean, you know, what would they want? I don't know. Some people worship bombs. I mean, they literally do, and they want them. They want a certain type. And then you would understand that to them that meant more than religion, but they weren't willing to say that. And somebody else has already said, I know you do not truly love my God. And that wasn't hard. I know you will never will. Because I don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are either, you say you believe in me now, and you never even believed in any of them. You're always very fishy about how we were both the same, and then you said, go west, young man. And we wouldn't listen to you, and you did something else. It's very difficult for me to tell you what they did. But the terrorists took the plane, right, and it had the people on it to make the chips. So we've seen that. I don't know what prophecy that was basically in. It wasn't exactly like that. But then the government shows up and says a whole bunch of things. That it's a cover up. And I gotta tell you, if they catch somebody doing something wrong, you know, they can say that you're not. But there's so many people out there that work in this environment that operate like this in a completely absurd and juvenile, delinquent type way. But I don't know if you are certainly trying to tell me that's good. It's not good. And the juvenile delinquent get caught, and people end up committing crimes, and they aren't really imprisoned in hell. But there are a lot of things I don't have to say about what you think. Because it's not like I personally would be able to do anything about it. I mean, you want me to. I'm saying this is what somebody else already said that he wanted. This was his idea, and you're like, you must do as I say. And it's not easy to do as he says. He says, do what I do. And you don't. You say, no, I don't have to do what you do. The government loses the war from their own front. And they are not really the ones fighting the government aid. They're just politicians that think this and that. What you should be more worried about is the military and what they say. Listen to their statements and be aware that they are fighting a war against terror. It's not very easy to say, but they don't know who to trust, so they're very scared that they might need to find somebody that knows who to trust, and they will try to find somebody that trusts the right people and trust people that can help, people that know how to do many things that would be very easy to somehow understand, so you wouldn't be confused, because what's going on is awfully confusing. And I hope you understand that this isn't as confusing as any of that would be. If you're confused now, you know the whole world. Yes, and I am. And here I go again with the idea that I can help you do many things. I'm not your savior if you don't want to be. Can't save you if you really want to anyhow. Save you is a different kind of concept than save you. I mean, did I save that one guy who got shot in the head? He dead now? I don't think I saved him. When you're asking me to do something, I'm saying, well, this is my plan, and saves other lives. You say, oh, save your life right now. Your life is in danger. What should I do? Well, I should tell you that you need to think about it. And think wisely about your thoughts. If your life's in danger, you're going to have to try and tell somebody. If you think it's over for you, you don't live no more. I mean, yeah, well, I get that. That's not the right idea. The right idea is to continue making these videos. Saying, yep, here's what I think of your video, and you should say, I'll make one of my own and tell you again that I don't know why you say that. Well, better yet, why do you think you're God? I say, no, I don't. And I could say I was something, but something that knows too much. That's just somehow tell people, as much as you want to know, I can tell you. And tell you that it was a very big deal. And say, listen, if you think it's going to get you some money, then go for it. But I think it's pretty much half-baked. The plan to take over the world involved going to war. And you could take over the world in a lot of different ways. So apparently the other guys didn't know how to do it. And who really is taking over the world already? And people would point their fingers at America. So I'd say, yeah, I have that jurisdiction. But I'm not going to be using it for nothing. I'm just going to shove it off. I mean, I'm not going to try and make it so they do what I say. I mean, a lot of things I said to them that they would end up doing were like, why don't you kneel down and pray? And I don't think people really get the concept of that like some of them do. But really, that's like a death threat. But they obviously didn't know why they were somehow talking to God. So they had to pray to Him. And I say, well, that's what I'm going to say. Who did they pray to? I'd say, You think that's what you have to say? No. Come on now. You know we were supposed to be better than that. We weren't supposed to be so mean and evil. Or rummage through other people's things to find out if that was true. I mean, there's no proof of that on any computer I own. I mean, the ownership of the actual server or computer, as I like to say, in question, it belongs to. I mean, to settle the dispute would take some time. Well, first of all, we need to know why. And I don't know why. We need to know what. What have they stolen from you? I'll say, I don't know. I mean, it's a thought crime. They stole my ideas. I didn't give them ideas that were somebody else's. I gave them my ideas, so if they wanted to go make them real someday, they certainly could. I would only mean that it had been about me. Or you would want to watch this and say, well, you sitting there telling this is the government. I mean, you really wouldn't know what to say about God. But I think you want to be like the feds and the organization of Hitler that lived there were on to something sort of secret test of time. Who could tell them that that would end up some hole in his head? And say, who was saying all these evil things? Was saying no one saying evil things. That had always been the plan. Was it evil? I mean, or evil men? That was the plan. I don't care what you say. I mean, I don't personally want to do anything to him. That's why he's going to do it himself. He's going to have to, and that's it. I mean, I did it myself. I did everything myself. And what did I do? I came up with a plan, but it wasn't easy. I'm sorry you didn't see me do that. Somebody did. I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't see me do it again and again. You'll see me do a lot of things. But what am I doing? I mean, is this just one thing I do? Or do I do this again and again? Or what do you think? I mean, I know a lot of things about truth, about the current events. It's not like I just talk about nothing. I'm talking about how I know that the world will end. But when? In a very little while, you'll understand that you won't be able to see it. And there will be that time. I mean, it's surprised that it happens over a period of time. You know the world is ending. You watch this, you know the world is ending. So what now? Because this won't mean anything to anybody. This is not what I mean to say, but you would care to find out. I mean, I don't think you found out anything. I think you found out that you would be like, say, yeah, it's not my problem. I say, I'm not trying to make it a problem. I'm trying to make you think that what you're watching is different than what you said. It's not really real. It's not the real thing. It's a copy. And if you were in this room with me, maybe you think you should be in the room with me at some point. I mean, in this room where I'm at right now, listening to me make this video, saying, who in the hell is he? And why does he make a video that says, I think you know who I am. And if you're afraid of me, well, you should be. I don't know how many times I've told you to fear the Lord. But that's about it. Because I know what you're doing. I mean, I could kill a man if I so wanted to kill him because he was evil. Because I no longer could put up with the idea that he would do evil things. I don't know. You gotta do a lot of evil things to make me angry like that. But then again, a lot of evil things may not to make me angry. And I don't know what the CIA would say about that, because to put it really bluntly, the CIA is the one that has been doing many of these things that make me awfully angry. Again, so does the NSA. And scientists in general think I can do whatever I want. I don't have to obey the law. And they try to do things that make people sick. And I don't know why. It's like they have secret government laboratories they don't want nobody to know about. Or they've done things that are like, why not? Why would you do that? And some people think, yeah, they have, and I know they have. Other people are less inclined to know and pay attention. If you're watching it for this long, you paid attention to the fact that this laboratory I'm at, I don't really do an experiment. I just tell people basically, yeah, listen, something that people don't want you to know about is what I say. And that people don't want you to really know, but you should be trying to find out something about them, about how they are a person, or who really is in charge here, and who's in charge here in general. Like, who's going to lead these people out of here? Who's going to get them out of there? Or who designed this, like, system, this beginning of the world, as if there is nothing but one thing? How God was ended there, about how he ended his world because he refused to live in it. And he was going to die. And I saw that just because he didn't want to die doesn't mean he wasn't going to be killed. I mean, yeah, I already explained that to him. Of course you're going to die. You won't be killed or whatever. I mean, he will be killed. It's very difficult for people to understand that someday people die. I mean, if you watch this long enough, you'll think that the point of this is that you're just going to do it. You will have to do what you say. And I'll have to do what you say. And I'll have to somehow agree and do what you say because you tricked me into doing this. I mean, all I'm thinking is, Mr. Ahmadinejad could do many things, but one thing he couldn't do was what he said. I mean, he's been laboring there to do it. Like, I can't do it now. I mean, he said a lot of things that he just would die. And he hasn't just died. Like, he was well killed over and died now. Because this is as bad as it could get. I mean, it could get worse. It's a fate worse than death. And he thinks death is a worse fate, even though this one that he is now is. This is a fate worse than death for a lot of people. To see my face and say, who is that? And to see it in this manner, which says, it could have just been a dream. I mean, you don't know if he meant to do this or not. We are in this dream. Sitting here telling us, you think it's evil to do what I do. Well, I know you always have. I mean, think about it. When I approach somebody to tell them something, usually they don't know who I am. And then if they do, you realize that, oh, I got my own way. or whatever. And you just say that there's a bunch of discrepancies here, like, how do you know it's me? Or who do you think I am? The guy just showed up. So, you were looking for this guy. Well, here I am. I mean, who are you looking for now? I don't know. I'm not too certain. You would look for a lot of people, would you not? You would look for me. I don't know what you're looking for now. Looking for me. Looking for the guy that did this. What would you do? What would you do if you were looking for me? I'd give up looking for me and say, there I am. But you're looking for me. You want to find this deceptor. And the deceptor has to find that. If you want to see that this is the truth here, I made you a man. Do you not know if you will find that thing? I think you can find out who made you a man by saying you did. And I know that. And it's kind of crazy to think you really would sit here and listen to it that long and say, I know, there's that man. You made a very long tape. Tell people, what are you going to be doing to me? What do you think that this is about? If I made you do things, you did them. And that you would say, I don't want to do it. I said, listen, it's a plan. And it has reoccurrence in it. It becomes reoccurring to the point that someone's forcing the door. Does he want me to do that? It's you in the bed. And I go, do you know what we're talking about at all? And you know the way. You just came in on this at the end of it. If you got this far, you should know what we're talking about is about. That you don't understand. But that doesn't mean you're going to let them do it. You can talk, but you ain't going to make it next to me. Next to me in my head, I guess not. I don't think anything's in my head. I don't try to use my brain to do anything. I don't think it's a magic power. I don't think it has anything to do with voodoo or tricks in your head or saying certain power words or anything. I just think it has to do with your natural ability to believe that there is something greater than yourself that will have great power. And it also has to do with the fact that if you have our power, if it is great, then you choose to say, I have the power. And the power to do what? I don't know. Because, I mean, you could strangle someone to death. And would that give you great power? And that may get you thrown in jail. And then you have the power in there, you might be in. Great power. That doesn't sound like a very great idea. And that sounds like a great idea to say, this is about killing the world. Now, like, maybe you don't want to kill. If you're going to listen to all this, listen. This is about how there is some sort of person who has ultimate authority over you. And who is that? He's going to be the ultimate authority on you. You are. And you will know that now. You are your own expert. No one else is the expert on you except yourself. And if you think that that's you empowering you, then it's not. And I'm not empowering you to be the expert on what you say, saying, and it should be you saying it to you. I am saying it to me, so I know what I'm saying. She'll try to do it different. She'll try to be like, and I'm the one that you had that. And yeah, you don't know all that. You just found this vicariously and listened to a fucking 55-minute speech about how you should know what I'm saying to be true. And somebody go, and do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty apparent. I think you're confusing what I said with what you want to know. You want to know who's going to do it. And I said, oh, because today is just a different day I did this. And I told you once before, it's not that easy. I wish it was. And I just told her, no, I didn't stab her back. And what I do, I should watch out. You know what they did to you at a season.